welcome back. Richard Mokocha joins us next. He's an associate professor of public law, Rivers State University, to take us through some of the agreements that were reached yesterday on the resolution of this political impasse in Rivers State. Good morning, Prof, and thank you for joining us on the program this morning. All right, so...
Good morning, Chamberlain, and good morning.
Thank you. Yesterday, they had a meeting. The president was in attendance and several other key actors and players, stakeholders, if I will, in that Rivers State matter. And they came up with what they tagged as directives for the resolution of the political impasse in Rivers State. All matters instituted in the courts by the governor of Rivers State, Sir Fubara, and his team in respect of the political crisis in the Rivers State shall be withdrawn immediately. That was in caps. All impeachment proceedings initiated against the governor of Rivers State at the Rivers State House of Assembly should be dropped immediately. The leadership of the Rivers State House of Assembly, as led by Right Honorable Martin Ameole, shall be recognized alongside the 27 members who resigned from the PDP and several others. You've seen these agreements, I believe, also signed here by those players who were present. And so there are legal questions that were raised by several persons, and that's why we have you here to help us shed light on these matters at no heat. So tell us, from what you've seen on this, you think this is going to be resolved this way?
Well, yes, if parties who have a dispute agree on some terms to resolve the dispute remains dissolved between them. Between the two of them, as far as they're concerned, the matter is resolved between them. What may linger is the possibility of legal implications of have been taken. That would be a different matter. But as the parties, if they agree to on the terms they have reached, fine. Between them, the conflict is resolved.
So the thing now is this: for instance, the State House of Assembly, there was an incident that occurred there, not the demolition now. So does that mean that the police will simply forget about whatever transpired? Even if anybody had broken the law, they'll look the other way. No one will be charged, nothing will be done whatsoever, because if they say they resolve this matter, so shall it be.
That's part of what I refer to talk of development have taken place, possible legal implications, developments. Yes, it remains that a house been accepted by both parties, but I kept talking of possible legal implication. It's a national part of that discussion, because if they were not, the issue they have commenced is a constitutional issue which cannot be by agreement. So that remains open. But if they were part of the discussion and they're part of the agreement and they accepted those terms, then it will be taken that they've decided to waive the possible rights that arises for them under the Constitution from the development that took place at the House of Assembly. That is the open question about it.
Yeah.
But for the parties that have agreed, between the parties that have agreed, they cannot proceed. But third parties who have acquired interest or who have been affected by the actions that took place during the crisis, we reserve the constitutional right to continue with their struggle.
So the part that where it says that the Rivers State House of Assembly shall choose where they want to sit and conduct their legislative business without interference and or hindrance from the executive arm of government. Now, previously, you had this other group who says, well, the court has recognized us as the valid group, and as such, we will play a role as such, and then they went on and passed the budget. Now, they also say the budget will be represented, and then they choose where they sit, and it goes on. So, while Assuming the court order subsists and their claims were there as a result, drew life from that court judgment, does this automatically invalidate all of that, or what?
No, certainly. That is part of the challenge. It does not, the agreement between the parties does not supersede existing legal situations. If the parties that went to court have agreed to pull out from the courts and they pull out, then those matters are over. The matters in respect of which they went to court are over. But you know, there are legal implications from actions that have been taken. Unless everybody who can react to it are part of this agreement, they may be able to continue with their reaction. Because the position of the law cannot be negotiated between parties, and an agreement, there cannot be an agreement to supersede the constitutional provisions. So yes, if parties resolve and agree, they may choose where they want, but if you want to redo some of the things that have been done that have constitutional implications, there will be constitutional implications from that action. So some of those actions, that of representing the budget, we raise a legal issue. The budget may have already been implemented. They may have started implementing the budget. That may raise a legal issue. And then recognizing the members who have taken action that in the Constitution amounts to resignation from the House will also raise constitutional issues. And which is why I said a party that is affected, like the party from which they resign, will be able to proceed against them. But between them, those who find matters in court, if they agree and they apply and withdraw those matters, for those particular matters, it's resolved.
Well, I know that we've invited you not just as a lawyer, but also as one who watches the politics in Rivers State and I guess in the country as well. From your knowledge of what you've seen happen over the past few weeks in Rivers State, do you think that this resolution has come late in the day, or do you think that it's still not beyond repair?
It's a stalemate of some sort. Sorry if I get your question well. If you're asking whether this sets a precedent or whether and resolves issues of similar nature elsewhere, or whether it's a stalemate. If you look at the terms of the resolution, it's more of going back to status quo, before the crisis. So if that qualifies for a resolution, that is fine. But can it be applied to other circumstances? That would be a different question. Because the dynamics of those circumstances and parties involved and their relationships may differ. So it may not be something you can import another place. And again, most importantly, the position of the law is not changed by what parties have discussed.
Well, I guess my question is more about whether or not the horse has since bolted and left the stable. Do you think that the president's attempt to rein back this horse is going to be successful when you say, oh, the commissioners that resigned, we thought they willingly resigned from the cabinet, should be represented at the assembly. Those who have defected should be recognized, etc. Do you think that this would really, really work? I mean, where trust has been broken?
It's another major challenge. You had a major crisis in which steps were taken by parties against each other. That's why I say it's like a return to status quo. If those terms hold water and parties have agreed and they decide to do so, what it means is that the governor is not going to be in charge of the government because whatever disaffections, whatever led to the disaffections that developed between the parties to this crisis cannot be cancelled. So trust will have been affected. Is the governor going to trust that those officers are going to be answerable to him, or that they are going to be reporting to their benefactor or those who have insisted they should remain in that place? The tone of the agreement that we have seen, the resolutions that we have seen, indicates that a party has taken full control of the state. and the other party has agreed to mute its reaction and to do nothing about it. Definitely, trust has been broken between them. And then for that of the members of the House of Assembly, as I said earlier, there is a question whether you can negotiate that by a discussion. The Constitution has already taken effect.
All right,
Professor
Richard Nwokocha, we do appreciate your time this morning. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, we're back in a moment. Don't go away.